Well, it is that slightly dead time between Christmas and New Year where things feel a little bit flat. So I've decided to get over my stir craziness by booking a last-minute night in a campsite in Dorset. The sky is a suitable winter's grey and it suits where I've come very well.
I thought I'd bring you here so we could have a bit of a chin wag.
So we've come down to Swanage because I would like to photograph the old pier that's crumbling into the sea, and perhaps from the new pier get a little bit of etherealness with some sticks.
Really?
That doesn't sound very promising.
No.
It'll be better than that.
I hope so.
I promise you.
Bringing you here today was just a bit of a subterfuge. Yes, I'll get some shots. No, they won't be magnificent, but I wanted to talk to you, to chew the cud.
Now the wind is bracing, and before I go and set myself up at the pier, I'm doing the never-ending search, as we do in England, for a public toilet.
Classy.
Ansel Adams once said that 12 significant photos in 1 year was a good crop. Well, I am clearly no Ansel Adams.
Nope.
However, I thought it might be helpful to think about things that I have done okay this year and see if I can get maybe 3 or 4 that I think are significant. So in a world that is oversaturated with images, my understanding for today's video of significant is very local. In fact, it's localised to me. So I'm going to share with you today 5 images, 3 of which I'm really quite proud of, 2 of which may be getting there. Perhaps they represent something significant for me as opposed to the whole of mankind, which I think is a very tall ask in landscapes. And while I reflect, let's go and have a nose at this pier.
The thing that struck me most when I was making this video was how fast time passes. The last time I was here was 2019, and while time and tide has not been kind to the old pier, it still retains a lovely charm. Unlike my editing of this shot. Ouch. Oh, and here I definitely needed a wider angled lens. The main pier from which I'll be shooting today has many plaques in commemoration of individuals or events celebrating and remembering. So whilst I spend the next hour in significant wind trying to capture something interesting, let's crack on. Now I confess, I found my selecting process really difficult. What I needed to do was to separate out the memory from the shot, to try and be objective, and that's really tricky. I also didn't realise how many opportunities I'd given myself this year, even if it was just locally, to get out and practice the craft. And I genuinely think that's what's made the difference. I'm evolving, and I needed to. Hurrah! Coming in at number 5 is a shot I took at a honeypot location fairly close to me, Brighton. I visited several times in early spring, each time capturing different conditions. On one occasion, I managed to capture the worm moon setting behind the old burnt-out pier. I'd love to say that I planned this, but I didn't. Pure luck. And it's not even my number 5 shot. No, that of course happened when I wasn't filming. I was out with my buddy Ben, and well, this happened. A happy combination of the tide being just right, not breaching my Wellingtons, the belt of Venus adding a beautiful touch of colour, and the reflections in the water. It's not original, but it is my local bucket list shot. In 4th place is another local location which, having done a fair bit of travelling this year, really did surprise me. Welcome to Devil's Dyke in the South Downs National Park. Over the past few years I've shot many an okay photo from this area, but this year on a rather splendid winter's morning I went exploring with Ben. We had some cracking conditions, but I only saw my shot whilst I was filming him. It's there, and although I really do like this, my initial frosty shot, something else caught my attention later. This feels like 2 separate worlds, separated by a mist inversion, the Surrey Hills being warmed by the sun in the background, contrasting with the coldness of the foreground South Downs. I was initially going to call it something trite like Between Two Worlds, but it's just the day emerging. We continued to explore in various locations on the South Downs, but once the sun had come up, the scenes lost their magic. And although I was able to pick out scenes through my long lens, nothing quite matched that early morning shot, despite my headless chicken impression. Just to reassure you, whilst I'm doing all this reminiscing, I'm having a jolly old time back at Swanage in the wind. And to add to that, my microphone failed. It's all going swimmingly. Right, from now on, these are the shots that I really am genuinely very pleased with. My third place shot comes from the country that I believe offers the most photographical opportunities that I've ever been to. And if you've followed my channel for a while, you will know that I utterly love Slovenia, with its lush woodlands and its oh so turquoise water. But mostly its stunning churches. And this beauty is my absolute favourite, Sveti Thomas. My first visit here was in 2022, when I was so intoxicated by those mists that I just long exposured everything. Why? In 2023 I returned with my new love of a 3x1 and I didn't repeat that mistake. I did stay in the house on the right. This year I returned in May, a time not known for its mists, but when the sun got high enough to warm the wet grass.
Well, one of the other photographers left a little bit too early. It is now, the sun is just capturing the mist that are swirling around the church. And lesson learnt, welcome, don't leave a scene too early. I was on my way back to the car and just kicked off. How lovely.
I think the surprise, the rays and the lack of editing required combined to make this one of my top 3 shots. If I was being picky, I'd like the cloud to disappear. But hey, it'll do. My second place shot was taken on the way back from a short-lived Anglesey trip, which was definitely dominated by the weather.
It's quite exciting.
My disappointment led me to be a bit of a grumpy mare, until I had the genius idea of visiting a location I'd been to a few years before. Well done me. And there you have it. That scene in the distance as the sun sweeps through, that's my shot. Now I did manage to capture a rather intimate version with the light picking out a lone tree. However, this is the one that has my heart, and by heck it was difficult to process. I had to constantly refer back to the videos so that I could make sure I wasn't over-processing colours or augmenting the accents of light so that it looked false. So pray what, I hear nobody ask, is your top photo of 2025, Louise? Easy. It's one taken at the church in the sea. By God, this location's cracking. With the mountains of Snowdonia in the background and a wonderful high tide, I think the morning light is best for this location. Although I do have a hankering to go and capture the Milky Way here. That's for 2026, I feel. And after a smashing dawn with subtle pinks and big skies, the sea started to retreat, revealing the lovely seaweed. And of course the bonus of a subtle reflection. It was then that I decided to walk around in the water, eventually going thigh high with my phone in my hand. And oh boy am I glad I did, because that's when I saw it. The beautiful fingers of seaweed reaching out towards me, rich in their tones and texture. And in the background, the church being lit by the warmth of the early morning sun. This may not be my final edit, but it's one that I'm currently pleased with. And in a month or so, when I've sat on it and pondered, I think I'll get it printed. So back to Ansel Adams and his idea of a good crop. Well, mine's very small and in no way significant to anybody but me, but I reckon it doesn't do any harm to go back, to look with a fresh pair of eyes, to try and be objective and to strip away the memories. But that's not why I do this malarkey. It feels sad to strip the memories away. My camera's my companion. It's an excuse to get out, to explore, to make memories. So I'm going to cherish my memories. Even if I walk away with a few dodgy photos like I have today, well, what the heck? It's been a blast. Thank you for coming with me. Thank you for your support. Your wisdom, humour and gentle prods in the right direction in the comments. They make me smile and make me think. You rock. See you in 2026.
Right a bit. Right a bit. Left now.
Your left. There we go.
That's it. That's it.
Idiots.
Yeah, work it. Work it.